Once an engine, attached to a train, was afraid of a few drops of rain. It stopped on the line. And went into a tunnel and squeaked through its funnel and never came out again. The engine's name was Henry. His driver and fireman argued with him, but he would not move. "The rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes," he said. The guard blew his whistle till he had no more breath and waved his flag till his arm ached. But Henry still stayed in the tunnel and blew steam at him. "I'm not going to spoil my lovely green and red stripes for you," he said rudely. The passengers came and argued too, but Henry would not move. The fat director, who was in the train, told the guard to get a rope. "We will pull you out," he said. But Henry only blew steam at him and made him wet. They hooked the rope on and all pulled, except the fat director. "My doctor has forbidden me to pull," he said. They pulled and pulled, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then they tried pushing him from the other end. The fat director said, "1, 2, 3, push," but did not help. "My doctor has forbidden me to push," he said. They pushed and pushed, but still Henry stayed in the tunnel. At last, another train came. The guard waved his red flag and stopped it. The 2 engine drivers, 2 firemen, and 2 guards went and argued with Henry. "Look, it has stopped raining," they said. "Yes, but it will begin again soon. And what would become of my green paint with red stripes then?" So they brought another engine up. And it pushed and pushed, puffed and pushed as hard as ever it could. But still Henry stayed in the tunnel. So they gave it up. They told Henry, "We shall leave you there for always and always." So they took up the old rails, built a wall in front of him, and cut a new tunnel. Now Henry can't get out, and he watches the trains rushing through the tunnel. He is very sad because no one will ever see his lovely green paint with red stripes again. But I think he deserved it, don't you? Edward and Gordon often went through the tunnel when Henry was shut up. Edward, who was a little engine, lived in a shed with 5 other engines. They were all bigger than Edward and boasted about it. "The driver won't choose you," they told him. "He wants a big, strong engines like us." So Edward was always pleased when the driver did choose him. "Beep, beep, hello," he said to Henry as he went into the tunnel. Gordon, who was very big and very proud, would say, "Boop, boop, boop, serves you right." But poor Henry had no steam to answer. His fire had gone out. Soot and dust from the tunnel roof had spoiled his lovely green paint and red stripes. He was cold and unhappy and wanted to pull his trains too. Here's Edward pulling into the station where Gordon is waiting. Gordon always pulled the express. He was proud of being the only engine strong enough. "You watch me, little Edward," he boasted. "Here's a splendid sight for you." And off he went with a whoop and a great hissing of steam. There were many heavy coaches full of important people like the fat director who had pushed Henry. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. "Hurry, hurry, hurry," he panted. "Chickadee-trot, chickadee-trot, chickadee-trot," said the coaches. Gordon could see Henry's tunnel in front. "In a minute," he thinks, "I'll poop, poop, poop at Henry and rush throughout into the open again." Closer and closer he came. He was almost there when crack! Eesh! He was in a cloud of steam and going slower and slower. His driver stopped the train. "What has happened to me?" asked Gordon. "I feel so weak." "You've burst your safety valve," said the driver. "You can't pull the train anymore." "Oh dear," said Gordon. "We are going so nicely, too." "Look at Henry laughing at me." Gordon made a face at Henry and blew smoke at him. Everybody got out and came to see Gordon. "Humph," said the fat director. "I never liked these big engines. Always going wrong. Send for another engine at once." While the guard went to find one, they uncoupled Gordon and ran him onto a siding out of the way. The only engine left in the shed was Edward. "I'll come and try," he said. Gordon saw him coming. "That's no use," he said. "Edward can't pull an express train." They coupled Edward onto the express and all was ready. Edward puffed and pulled and puffed, but he couldn't move the heavy coaches. "I told you so," said Gordon rudely. "Why not let Henry try?" "Yes," said the fat director, "I will. Will you help to pull this train, Henry?" he asked. "Yes," said Henry at once. Gordon's driver and fireman lit his fire. Some plate layers broke down the wall and put back the rails. And when he had steam up, Henry puffed out. He was dirty. His boiler was black and covered in cobwebs. "Oh, I'm so stiff. Oh, I'm so stiff," he groaned. "You better have a run to ease your joints and find a turntable," said the fat director kindly. Gordon was still feeling weak. "I think it would be best if you started off for home now," said the fat director. "It'll take you a long time because you'll only be able to go very slowly." So off went Gordon through the tunnel where Henry had been walled up. Henry came back feeling much better and coupled up to the train. Edward soon backed in front of Henry. "Peep, peep," said Edward. "I'm ready." "Peep, peep, peep," said Henry. "So am I." Pull hard, puffed Edward. We'll do it, we'll do it, puffed Henry. "Pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it, pull hard, we'll do it," they puffed together. The heavy coaches jerked and began to move, slowly at first, and then faster and faster. "We've done it together, we've done it together, we've done it together," said Edward and Henry. "You've done it, hooray, you've done it, hooray, you've done it, hooray," said the coaches as they disappeared into the tunnel. All the passengers were excited. The fat director leaned out of the window to wave to Edward and Henry. The passengers all got out and said thank you, and the fat director promised Henry a new coat of paint. Henry chose blue and red so that he would be like Edward. Edward and Henry went home quietly, and on their way they helped Gordon back to the shed. All three engines are now great friends. Wasn't Henry pleased with his new coat? He is very proud of it, as all good engines are. But he doesn't mind the rain now, because he knows the best way to keep his paint nice is not to run into tunnels, but to ask his driver to rub him down when the day's work is over.